Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Joe.
I'm also Joe.
Welcome back to SNES is Life, episode 52 recap, or recap number 52. You can see what we're covering here on the left, and let's get started. First up is Pac-Attack, which is a Pac-Man related puzzle game a la sort of Tetris-ish. Yeah, I mean it is and it isn't. Like, it's definitely Tetris, Puyo Puyo columns kind of a puzzle game. You're definitely laying things in there, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to line up these ghosts. And then eventually you get a Pac-Man and you try to get your Pac-Man to go eat all the ghosts.
To eat as many ghosts as possible.
There is two modes. You get a puzzle mode where it's just you trying to line things up perfectly to clear all the ghosts off the board. Then you get a versus mode, which does drop garbage on the other person. We played both of those. What'd you think?
I liked it. I ended up giving it a thumbs up. I think it looked... I mean, it didn't need to look great.
No.
And it does what it needs to do.
I think it looks totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, as a 16-bit puzzler, it looks and plays just fine. I ended up thumb downing it. Now, that isn't because the game is bad. I thought the game was fine. But in a world of puzzle games on the Super Nintendo, like, I would just as soon play Tetris, Dr. Mario, or like Yoshi's Cookie.
And it is a bit confusing.
It is a little confusing. It takes some time to get used to. I did enjoy the single-player puzzle mode. There are 100 levels to it, Jesus. So, one thumbs up from Joey, thumbs down from me. It's not a bad game by any stretch. I think, if you like puzzle games like Tetris and stuff, then you'd probably enjoy this, and it's probably worth getting. So, there you go. Next up, NHL 1994. Hockey game. What can you say? It's hockey.
It was hard to tell what was going on.
It was very difficult to tell what was going on. It was very difficult to control the puck. And, I mean... everything felt very slippery. And don't get me wrong, I get that you're on ice. But like Monkey brought up when we were playing, he's like, I've seen professional skaters skate. Like, it's not slippery.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, ice, but
these
like
are, these are professionals. They know how to move on this. And it just felt like no matter what you did, your guy was going past where you wanted him to go, or you just couldn't get him to stop or go turn, It was very difficult to control. No music, again. Graphics I thought were acceptable for the time as far as sports games are concerned. I thought it looked okay, but yeah, it didn't control well enough, and it didn't sound great without music, of course. So I thumbs down.
I also gave it a thumbs down.
2 thumbs down. Sorry, NHL. Next up, we got Lock On. This is a third-person perspective, dogs barking like crazy game. Third-person perspective cockpit flight game. Very arcade feeling. You get 4 planes to choose from. 2 are like air attack and 2 are ground attack. The game looks pretty decent.
The game looks good, I think. And it controls really well. It's extremely difficult.
Yes. So good Lord, how long...
we were probably talking.
And we must have been, I was like, get to the freaking gameplay. So there's our 4 planes. And this is the first mission, the first world, basically.
We only got to mission 2.
Which, we only made it to mission 2 because the first level is so good. Actually, the first level is not awful. Joey managed to get through it pretty quick. The boss, it flies so fast you can't hit the damn thing.
We only got to mission 2 because we skipped.
Yeah, we never did beat the boss. So there you get your third-person perspective. You can do barrel rolls. You can do Immelman flips and things. You get your HUD up at the top. This is very reminiscent of the old Sega arcade game Afterburner, which I know you're going to be unfamiliar with, but some people watching this might understand what Afterburner. It's very reminiscent of that to me. You can definitely get the F-Zero Mode 7 bottom picture there, which is cool. You get your horizon and stuff. So it is very neat. The music was pretty decent. The sound was fine. It's just hard as balls. I gave it a thumbs up. I kind of like flight sim combat games.
I'm pretty sure I gave it a thumbs down.
You gave it a thumbs down. Yeah, you didn't care for it. Primarily because of the difficulty. Like, it's insane that in 50 minutes of play we couldn't beat the first level. Like, there's no reason to make the boss that difficult. Like, he would just fly past you at 100 miles an hour.
Dropping missiles.
Yeah.
And
just
repeat.
It was just crazy. It was just nonsense. But I liked it. I think it looks really good. And if you don't mind the fact that you're never going to advance very far, I could see this being like, oh, well, I'm just going to write down the passwords off the internet And, I'm going to pop on and play it for 20 or 30 minutes to kill some time, and it's pretty entertaining. I think it's playable that way.
Yeah, I did say it feels like a sandbox game because first you have to kill so many things.
Yeah.
And then you just spend the rest of the time beating one plane.
Yeah, if you can beat them. Fourth up is NBA Showdown. This is one of many NBA games we have played. No music, and it looked okay.
I think it actually looked pretty good.
Like the fact that you can really see the numbers on their jerseys and everything, so they're legible. Like you can read them. If you dunked, you were fine. Joey found out that Jordan can hit 99% of three-pointers he shoots, which is not shocking. I mean, this was the era of Jordan. No game was going to make Jordan a bad player by any stretch, but they definitely, I think, made him way too strong.
It wasn't even Michael Jordan that hit all of them.
Yeah.
A majority of my points were three-pointers, which you got upset by.
I was like, what the, man? Like, every time he shot, it's like, three-pointer, bing. You couldn't turn off fouls or, the calls there from the ref, which is irritating.
You could turn off your players getting tired, though.
Yeah, the game has the option to, do the swap outs when your guys get tired and exhausted, which is great. That's cool for simulation purposes. It's just a bit much for... I prefer my sports games to be very arcadey, you know? That's one of the reasons that I love NBA Jam. It's just good, silly fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need simulation basketball. So this one got a thumbs down from the both of us.
Yep.
Yeah, so, it's just another basketball game and a sea of basketball games on the Super Nintendo. And same with football and hockey over the years. Just, it's just another one in the dustbin for us. So, thumbs down. Finally, we get Paladin's Quest. This is a JRPG. You can guess where this one's going to go immediately. I think the game looked okay.
I think it looked fine.
I prefer the look of Final Fantasy to this. Like the 16th Final Fantasy. I think there's a difference. I understand your statement of you don't think there's much of a difference. I mean, there really isn't. It's still a top-down JRPG. I felt like Final Fantasy presented better. The music was
fine.
Okay. It looped a little too quick. Like it was a short loop. And so it was very repetitive. And even when you got to a different area, all the loops were short like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it awful, but it doesn't make it super enjoyable either.
I think in combat, it looked really cool. It did
I liked the way the menu system worked.
Yeah, the menu system, it was like you control through the D-pad.
Yeah, they assigned everything to the D-pad.
Attack, cool. Defend, magic.
Yeah, and when you hit attack, it threw your options for attack. Like you could swing your knife or a sword or whatever. And I'm sure it would have said the same thing with magic. It did actually. We did get to magic. Yeah, we did use magic.
It was a cool concept.
Yeah, it was a neat idea.
The only reason I don't the reason I stopped enjoying playing it was we finished the entire beginning of this first town, the first tower.
Oh, yeah.
Got to the second town. They're like, hey, you need to go this way. And we were 35 minutes in.
For sure.
And it threw two guys at me.
And they whomped you.
And they destroyed me. I was like, okay, well, I'll just appear back at the last inn, right? Because I did talk to the lady there. I slept, regained all my health.
Full game over.
Nope, game over. Had to restart entirely because there's apparently a specific person for saving the game.
Full game over, yeah. I, at that point, picked it up and played it, and we discovered that, like we said, we got through the very first area, and you get to the next town, which is where you're supposed to go, and then you are forced to stop and grind.
Because you can defeat one of the two weakest creatures by itself, but as soon as there are two of the weakest creatures,
you're dead.
You're dead.
Yeah, and the second you walk out of that town to go the direction you're supposed to go, you're toast. Everything is 2 or 3, and some of them one hit kill you. It basically forces you to stop and immediately grind for levels, which, oh my god, that's the thing we hate about JRPGs anyway. And so, yeah, we never made it past there. I mean, it's not surprising we generally only put an hour of play into games, so. But again, it's a JRPG awash in a sea of JRPGs. There's a billion JRPGs for the Super Nintendo, and this one does not light on the air of the good ones. when you look at a list of good ones, you're going to get things like Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana and Final Fantasy. I'd never heard of Paladin's Quest. Wizard of Zardoz came in, and he's like, I am a JRPG fan. This is not one I would play. So that tells you a lot right there when the JRPG fan comes and goes, ugh, rough time. Yeah, so 2 thumbs down for Paladin's Quest. What are you going to do? Can't win them all. Can't win them all. That's it, though. The next set of 5 games, we got Aquatic Games, which is a James Pond game. Empire Strikes Back, Super Star Wars, Ren and Stimpy Vidiots, Sim Ant, and the one game I know will be good, Sunset Riders, which is a port of an arcade game, but the arcade game was amazing, so I can only assume that the Super Nintendo game is equally good. And we'll get to that. It'll probably be the last one we play in the next set of 5, right before you leave for college again and I'm left by myself. So that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for watching the recaps and sticking with us all this time. We appreciate you. Have a good night, good day, whatever it is when you're watching this. Peace out.
See you guys.